Welcome to Your Wellness in Mind. I am Eric Dulong, and this is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Sherry Matheson. We're so happy that you are watching our show on wellness. Eric and I are experienced health and wellness coaches who love working with groups or individuals to achieve their health and wellness goals.
We created Your Wellness in Mind show to share information, tips, and tools on various health topics to bring the clarity and action plans that will make a difference in your life. We want you to feel that you're not alone when it comes to wanting to improve your wellness. So Sherry, what is on this first episode of Your Wellness in Mind?
Well, Eric, our topic is a common theme with many of our clients, and that is how to manage stress.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you that stress is often on our clients' agenda. Stress is a key topic as we all experience it on a day-to-day basis. So in this episode, we will cover what is stress, the impact on the overall stress on our life, and to conclude the show, we will help you with creating your own stress management plan.
Right. Stay with us. We have a lot to share with you.
I think a good way to start the show about stress and stress management is to share with our viewers our definition of what is stress.
A short definition is it's the body's reaction to address situations that are interpreted as being potentially life-threatening. So flight, fight, freeze, or appease responses. It's a chemical reaction.
And what type of chemical reaction?
So basically what happens is when you perceive or experience a threat, the hypothalamus gland, a little gland at the base of your brain, sets off an alarm that triggers the adrenal gland to release a surge of hormones, which gives you a temporary extra boost of energy to your whole body to fight or flight the threat.
Okay, and what are some of those hormones involved with stress?
So the main two are cortisol, which increases your blood glucose and your immune responses, and the other main one is adrenaline, which boosts your heart rate and blood pressure.
Okay, so I'm sure we all think that those things seems like positive, right? Boosting your immune system, being more alert, having a boost of energy. Then can you please explain to all of us the reason why does stress seems to be a problem then?
So two reasons. The first one is that unfortunately the body can often overreact to stressors that are not life-threatening, such as day-to-day events like traffic jams, work pressure, and family difficulties. And the second is the one that we need to make a distinction between the two types of stress. So being acute and chronic stress.
Okay, so let's focus on the two types of stress. So what is the difference between the two types?
So acute stress is the right now stress, which can be good for you because the stress hormones released help your brain and body deal with the situation.
Okay, and what is chronic stress then?
So chronic stress is the long-term activation of the stress response system, and it can disrupt almost all your body's processes.
Okay, so in summary, the problem with stress then is that sometimes the body overreacts to situations that are not really life-threatening. And also the long-term production of the stress hormones, which is the chronic stress, right?
I'd also add that normally when the threat is over, the body goes back to normal. With the chronic stress, it doesn't. The body's response never really turns off. So this is what puts us at that increased risk of many health problems.
Okay, so we will come back later to the health problem caused by chronic stress. So for now, can you give us some example of what is chronic stress versus acute stress?
So acute stress is generated by events like public speaking, practicing an intense sport, writing an exam, doing a presentation at work, for instance.
What would be some example of chronic stress?
So chronic stress would be situations that go on for long periods of time with the feeling that it will never end. For example, worrying about one's finances, taking care of a loved one who's very ill, feeling overwhelmed at work, and having the fear of losing your job, really not feeling in control of your life.
Thanks, Sherry. I hope this first segment brings to you more clarity about what stress is. Let's come back on how chronic stress can increase the risk of many health problems.
For sure. I've prepared a little chart that shows us potential impacts on our body, mood, and behaviors. So on your body, it could be headaches, chest pain, fatigue, sleep problems. On your mood, it could be anxiety, lack of motivation or focus, irritability, and sadness. On your behavior, it is possible to have an angry outburst, overeating, abusing drugs or alcohol, and also social withdrawal.
I believe stress can be the precursor of some disease as well, right?
Potentially, if you have a predisposition to heart disease, cancer, or diabetes, many studies have demonstrated that chronic stress may actually increase your risk of developing these conditions.
So I'm sure our viewers may have experienced at various levels some of these impacts listed on the chart, right? What makes our response to stressors vary from one person to another?
A lot has to do with how we perceive a situation. If we feel that we have what it takes to deal with it, what is stressful to you might be neutral or challenging to me, and possibly even be something that makes me feel better.
Okay, so like a big roller coaster, right? The ride might be exhilarating for me, but totally terrifying for you.
Exactly.
So perception is key in how we feel or deal with our stressors. And many neuroscience studies have demonstrated that with being consistent in finding ways in managing our stress, we can eventually change our perception of things and how we react to stress, which is a good segue to our next segment of today's show, how to manage stress.
This is a key segment of today's show because managing stress is vital for maintaining our overall health, promoting longevity, and allowing us to be more productive.
So I would like to say that some approaches to manage stress could work well for some people and not for others. Each of us needs to find what works best for us.
That is a good clarification. I would say generally a good way to start is by identifying what our stressors are and journaling or documenting them.
Okay. Can you please expand more on how identifying our stressors can actually help with managing our stress?
Being able to identify our stressors, their triggers, and their sources is a foundation of our stress management plan, as investigating and having a better understanding of each stressor allows us to elaborate a plan to start mitigating them.
Okay. So I found a good tool on mayoclinic.org website to help us with investigating of each of our stressors. They call it the 4A's approach.
Ah, that is a good tool. Eric, can you share that with us?
Yes. So basically, the 4A's are avoid it, alter it, adapt to it, or accept it. A good way to look at each of our stressors is to find which A's apply to each of them. You can ask yourself, for instance, can I avoid the situation, yes or no? If yes, then you ask yourself how, and if no, you move to the next A until you find the best possible fit to address your stressor.
I think to illustrate what we just mentioned so far about stress management, we should use a scenario.
Good idea. Do you have one in mind?
Sure, let's say you have friends coming over for dinner, and every time you have friends over, you are always tense. You often snap for no good reason at your family members.
I'm sure that is the type of situation that many can relate to.
I can. So one approach might be to take a moment to reflect and understand what is making you so tense, what triggers that behavior.
Okay, so let's say in the scenario you gave us, I have identified that I want everything to be perfect for my friends, and I feel I don't have enough time to prepare that perfect dinner. I also feel that my family members don't really care as much as I do about it. And it's like that all the time, and that upsets me.
Okay, let's look at what you identified in this scenario. I believe the stressor is having friends over.
Yeah, I agree. Having a friend over is really generating that stress, yeah.
And the trigger is your need to impress your friends with a perfect dinner?
That is right. They must be impressed. Failure is not an option.
That sounds like a lot of pressure.
It is.
That you're putting on yourself. So definitely I would say the source is internal, so self-induced, coming from your desire for everything to be perfect. You know that perfection is a myth.
You're right. You're right.
Thanks. And if we come back to our 4A's approach that we mentioned earlier, which A do you believe is the more suitable one in this scenario? Can you avoid it, alter it, adapt to it, or accept it?
Let's say I can't really avoid it nor alter it, but I need to live with it.
Would you say that your possible options then are to either learn how to adapt to it or accept it?
Yes, let's say in this case I believe that the best fit is to adapt to it. Then what is next?
Next will be to start investigating healthier ways to cope with your stressors.
And can you share with us some ways to help us manage or to cope with our stress?
Connecting with others instead of isolating ourselves, which can also include asking for help or delegating to others. Creating a positive ritual or routine around sleep, exercise, meditation, spirituality, journaling about gratitude, celebrating personal accomplishments, and practicing self-compassion.
Yeah, that is so important. Self-compassion, as we are often our biggest critic. And we can sometimes be really, really hard on ourselves.
Yes, that is so true.
What makes these a good way to cope with stress?
It's our brain's response or the impact on our brain. So perception of control is the key to managing stress and being able to tolerate uncertainty. The idea is to lessen the influence of your primitive brain and be in your thinking brain, the neocortex. You perceive reality accurately without distortion.
So the field of neuroscience has produced many evidences on how some approaches to managing stress can positively impact your brain.
That is right.
And I would like that we look at few ways of managing stress that we are hearing the most recently. For instance, what is happening in my brain when I express gratitude instead of dwelling on the negative?
So negativity is the brain's natural bias state, and chronic stress rewires your brain towards that negativity, and you have the feeling that things are impossible. Gratitude practices, on the other hand, appear to increase serotonin, and the serotonin is known as a feel-good hormone. So serotonin helps us to feel relaxed and content.
Okay. And what about exercising regularly?
There are many benefits of being active, and one of the benefits on the brain is that physical activity releases dopamine, which is a happy chemical. So physical activity also activates the production of endorphins that help in maintaining pleasurable internal states.
So those are really good arguments to convince all of us to be active, actually. What about connecting to others that help with reducing stress? What is happening in our brain when we connect with others?
So social connectivity is the most efficient way to cope with internal or external events that you perceive as a threat. So expressing what you're going through can be a relief, even if there's nothing you can do to alter the stressful situation. There's nothing more calming to your nervous system than connecting with another human being who makes you feel safe and understood.
Good. That is calming for sure. I would like us also to talk about mindfulness. I think we should briefly explain what is mindfulness and what being mindful means.
Mindfulness is the whole body and mind awareness of the present moment. So to be mindful is to be fully present, not lost in daydreams, anticipation, indulgences, or worry.
So, wow, your body and your mind together at the same location, that can also be calming.
Agree. Recent research suggests that mindfulness practices are associated with changes in the wiring in various parts of our brains, which has an effect on improving focus, body awareness, emotion regulation, and change in perspective of oneself.
So Sherry, you know there's a Zen say that goes like this. You should meditate every day 20 minutes, and if you don't have time, you should meditate 1 hour. I like that say. It's a little cheeky saying, but what it says is that if you don't have time to take care of yourself, then you need to take more time to take care of yourself. So is 20 minutes sufficient to start seeing some of the benefit of mindfulness meditation?
Mindfulness meditation is a practice or a routine that needs to be embedded in our day-to-day life. 20 minutes a day is a good guideline. Some people practice more and some practice less. But like anything, the key is to engage in practicing consistently. The more you practice something and the more consistent you are at it, the more this becomes a part of your life. This can be explained by the plasticity of the brain.
Yeah, and we will cover the plasticity of the brain, also known as neuroplasticity topic, and also mindfulness more in detail in future episodes of Your Wellness in Mind. So, to conclude on this topic, can you let our viewer know where we can practice mindfulness meditation?
Anywhere, but more specifically at Buddhist temples for the religious aspect of it, colleges, universities, wellness centers, or even some cognitive behavioral therapy clinics now offer mindfulness programs to manage stress. One of the well-known stress reduction programs is MBSR, which stands for Mindfulness-Based Stress Reductions, a program developed by Jean Kabat-Zinn and is offered worldwide. I know in Calgary the program is offered at the Tom Baker Cancer Center and via the University of Calgary Continuing Education. To learn more about MBSR, I invite you all to visit the website of the University of Massachusetts Medical School Center of Mindfulness, where MBSR started.
Thank you, Sherry. So as coaches, we can conclude this show without a call to action for you. We would like to invite you to start building your own stress management plan. This is what we recommend you should include in your plan. So 1, identify your main stressors.
Yes, investigate and reflect on what are the main stressors that have a significant impact on your life and document them.
2, identify what triggers the stressors.
Yes, identify, document, when did the feeling of stress start and how.
3, is the source of the stress internal or external?
Yes. Are each of the stressors created by an external event that you feel you have no or little control over, like a high-risk situation, or is it something that is induced internally, like something created by our overall beliefs, opinions, and our value system? For example, believing that vulnerability is only for the weak.
4, use the 4 A's approach. Can you avoid it, alter it, adapt to it, or accept it?
Yes, which A suits the situation the best for each of those specific stressors?
5, investigate potential ways to mitigate those stressors if you find that you need to adapt to it or accept it. 6, enable the plan and commit to it. 7, share your plan with a friend, your coach, therapist, doctor.
Yes, sharing your plan with others brings that accountability that could help you in maintaining it, even when the motivation is at a lower point. It formalizes it, more like a commitment with yourself and towards the people you have shared it with.
So good luck in defining and implementing your stress management plan, and please don't hesitate to contact us via email or our Facebook page if you need support and guidance in defining, enabling, and sustaining your stress management plan.
Yeah, and feel free to send us your stress management plans, and we would be happy to work with you as we do with all of our clients.
Yeah. We hope that this show made you feel that you're not alone with your stress, and there are ways to manage the stress, right?
Yes, we want you to remember that everything starts with a commitment that you want to steer the course of your life and then just do it. It was a real pleasure to make this episode about stress, and we hope it was a pleasure for you to watch.
Yeah, we have more interesting topics about wellness that we will cover in future episodes of Your Wellness in Mind. We invite you to come every 15th of the month to watch the next topic we have prepared for you.
And don't forget,
you're not alone.
Bye for now.